Hello everyone, my name is Yulia Vikhat and I'm a family lawyer. I work at the law company of the lawyer Alexey Nikolaevich Skryabin. Our law company specializes in providing legal services in the field of marriage dissolution and recovery of alimony. Our lawyers provide support in court proceedings throughout Ukraine. In this video, I will tell you about the stipulated terms for divorce through the registry office without children and through the court, the time frame for considering a divorce statement by mutual consent through the court, the terms of divorce if one of the spouses doesn't agree, how to dissolve marriage through the court unilaterally, and the time frame for entering of a court decision about divorce into the legal force. Watch this video till the end in order to learn a lot of interesting information about the time frame of divorce through the court and through the registry office. Subscribe to my channel to receive up-to-date information in the field of family law. Contacts for calling me and asking about paid consultations are under this video. Provided terms for the divorce through a registry office without children and through a court in Ukraine. The terms of divorce through the registry office are fixed by the norms of the Family Code and the rules for state registration of acts of civil status approved by the order of the Minister of Justice of Ukraine, and constitute a calendar month from the date of submission of the statement by the spouses. The terms for consideration of the statement in the registry office can be extended up to 1 year at the insistence and upon written application of at least one of the spouses. The time frames of a divorce of the spouses through the court compared with the divorce in the registry office is regulated by the Civil Procedure Code. The court must establish a reasonable time frame for the performance of procedural actions. Time limits are reasonable if they provide a sufficient time period, taking into account the circumstances for the performance of the procedural action, and are corresponding to the purposes of civil proceedings. According to the European Convention for the Protection of Human Rights and Fundamental Freedoms, which according to Ukrainian norms is a part of the national legislation of Ukraine, everyone has the right to a fair and public hearing within a reasonable time by an independent and impartial court established on the basis of the law of the dispute about his civil rights and obligations. The reasonableness of the time limits of the consideration of a divorce is dependent of timeliness of the appointment of the case to the court hearing, holding of court sessions at the appointed time, terms of making a court decision by a judge, timeliness of notification of the participants of the process about the date and place of the court session, proper fixation of the court session by technical means, meeting the deadline for the examination, timeliness of issuance of a writ of execution and sending it to the body authorized to execute their judgment, importance of the case for the plaintiff's health, recovery of alimony, cases concerning child custody, and so on. The terms for the consideration of a divorce cannot be qualified as reasonable if they are violated due to the judge's involvement into another process, the appointment of court hearings with long intervals, and founded satisfaction of unreasonable motions of the participants of the process, which caused the postponement of the case's consideration for a long time, delaying of the preparatory proceedings, failure to take measures to prevent the unfair behavior of the participants of the case, and so on. The above-mentioned and other reasons indicate a low level of organization of legal proceedings and an irresponsible attitude to the performance of the duties. In practice, the terms for the divorce of spouses through court are 1-2 months by common agreement of spouses with children, 1 or 2 months on the basis of the statement of claim if the other of the spouses doesn't object, 3 to 6 months if the other spouse actively denies and abuses procedural rights. How long does it take to consider a divorce statement by mutual consent through a court in Ukraine? According to the Family Code, it is established that spouses with children have the right to apply to the court for divorce together with a written agreement about which of them the children will live with, what kind of participation in ensuring of living conditions will the parent living separately take, as well as on the conditions for exercising his right to personal upbringing of children. If there is such an agreement, this should be notarized. The terms of divorce are shortened as much as possible. Divorce proceedings can be completed on time. Terms of divorce in Ukraine if one of the spouses doesn't agree on it. Divorce of spouses through the court if one of the spouses doesn't agree is carried out in order of lawsuit. At the request of the plaintiff, in order to shorten the terms of the divorce may be considered by the court in the order of simplified proceedings. The motion of the plaintiff for consideration of the divorce in the order of simplified proceedings shall be submitted in writing simultaneously with the filing of the statement of the claim, or may be contained in it. In the statement, the plaintiff should indicate what grounds give him the right to apply for the consideration of the case by the way of a simplified procedure. Such a motion should relate to the consideration of the entire divorce case by the way of and cannot relate only to a certain part of the claims. Otherwise, the court will not accept it for consideration, as indicated in the ruling of opening of proceeding over the case. According to the Code of Civil Procedure, the court considers cases in the order of simplified proceedings within a reasonable time, but not more than 60 days from the date of the opening of proceedings of the case of divorce. How to get a divorce through court unilaterally in Ukraine. Terms. Unilateral divorce isn't possible in the registry office. The divorce procedure is carried out by judicial authorities. In order to get a divorce quickly through the court unilaterally, it is necessary to apply to the court according to territorial jurisdiction with a motion to consider the divorce case in the order of a simplified procedure. Short deadlines for divorce of spouses in this case are due to the provisions of the Code of Civil Procedure. Consideration of the case of divorce of spouses in the order of simplified proceedings in fact begins with the opening of the first court session or in 30-day period after the opening of proceedings of the case if the court session isn't held. If a court session isn't held for the consideration of the divorce case in the order of simplified proceedings, the procedural actions, the time frame of which is limited by the first court session, may be performed within 30 days from the date of the opening of the proceedings. The first court session on the divorce case shall be held no later than in 30-day period. The court considers the divorce case without notification of the parties on the basis of the materials available in the case. In the case there is no motion from either party about the other. The term of entering into legal force of a court decision on divorce in Ukraine. According to the Code of Civil Procedure, the decision on divorce comes into legal force upon the expiry of the time limit for filing an appeal by all participants in the case, if the appeal hasn't been filed. In the case of filing an appeal, the decision, if it isn't cancelled, comes into legal force upon the return of the appeal. Refusal to or to close the appeal proceedings, or the adoption of the decision of the Court of Appeal based on the results of the appeal review. The deadline for filing an appeal against a court decision on divorce is 30 calendar days. Consulting a professional divorce lawyer is a guarantee of your success. Contact the lawyers of our company in any way convenient for you. Call or write in messengers. We'll help you to resolve your issues quickly and efficiently. If you have a need for consultation or paid services of a lawyer, then contact the contacts listed under this video. If you have any questions, then write them into the comments to this video, and I will definitely answer you. If this video was useful for you and you learned something new for yourself about the terms of divorce in court and the registry office, then like this video, subscribe to my channel, share with friends, press the bell not to miss new videos, and see you in new videos.